All right, so a couple updates. I've been getting a lot of comments on my videos, and that's so cool. So thanks everyone for doing that. I really appreciate that. But wanted to do an update because I noticed as I was watching one of the videos on the Brasspire unicorn horn that I talk about playing so often and record with, and it's kind of my go-to for a lot, even though I have a lot of other horns. I wanted to show that it had an even further problem that I wasn't, or I didn't articulate to anyone, in that the end piece or the receiver where the mouthpiece goes in had some kind of a problem in it. And I took it to my local repair shop. Check this guy's name out, Brass Monkey Repair. I think it's pretty cool. Dude, just out of his house. I love brass companies because it's all like, just some dude just doing the stuff. And he's a young guy, and I guess he's a tuba player, but professionally trained and all that, but does all the repair work on the side. Anyhow, just a quick shout out to him. But I wanted to share that I brought it to him, and this horn is such a Frankenstein. Can you see now that this part right here was completely redone? And now the mouthpiece fits in there. Perfect. It used to wiggle back and forth. I'm like, why is it, I don't know what somebody did to this horn, but they just trashed it. Maybe that's why I got it for $300 because it was in such rotten shape. But man, it plays just as good as ever at this point. And now the mouthpiece doesn't move around or wiggle. So again, back to that whole thing, you can really, and I guess I should call it out that I understand that not everybody can just drop hundreds or thousands of dollars on instruments on a whim and just try stuff out. But I guess even if you can't do that, what I'm trying to instill in you is some level of confidence to say that I've done that because I can afford to. And you should feel a little more confident or secure doing that because honestly, I haven't bought a horn that was a real dud yet. And I've probably bought and sold like 20 horns over the last 10 years or whenever I kind of got back into this whole thing. And they've all been fine. You can nitpick them to death, but every one of them has been playable. None of them had any major problems. None of them have just sat there. Even the ones that were like $100 that looked just devastatingly horrible were still fine and playable. But something like this, that's like $1,100 new, somebody ripped the whole finish off this thing. Like I mentioned, changed this. There was some stuff wrong with the caps at the bottom. They don't really fit properly or perfectly. And then this entire receiver piece was just ruined. So this is a brand new kind of like Frankenhorn to some degree. And I think it's really cool to call out that you can go out there and take a chance on these horns. And these types of instruments are just, I don't know, maybe, I'm kind of coming from the guitar world too. And of late, as I've mentioned, you can buy, like I play Musi, M-Musi guitars now, and I have Gibson and Fender and, all the big brands too. And these $300 guitars are honestly superior other than impression, and brand recognition wise, they're better, and they're $300. So, the point is manufacturing has come a long way for a lot of different instruments. But I guess my other point was that I'm so used to playing good quality guitars because some of the cheaper guitars were just unplayable. My point is that isn't true for a lot of these, at least in my experience, a lot of the brass instruments that are out there. And I'll give you another example because, why would I stop buying horns? I can't possibly do that. So anytime I come across some kind of a cool deal or something that it's like, a few $100, I'm okay taking a chance on that, I buy it. So that being said, here is, I don't even know what model this is, but this is a Berkeley Wind. I think they do more of like the marching band type stuff. But anyway, this is a Berkeley Wind Flugelhorn. And I wanted to get a Flugelhorn that had the trumpet setup on it. A traditional Flugelhorn has the down, these valve lines are down here, right? So you have more to hold. But I picked this thing up for $200. I think they're only, and that's not some great deal. I think they're like $400 or $500 brand new. So $200 came with the case. But there's not a mark on this thing. No dents, no scratches, no nothing. And it's like a half gold, half silver thing. The only thing I had to fix on it was the receiver had some corrosion or crud or something in it, but you know, can you see it? It's like I took the finish off. It doesn't matter to me. That type of stuff is meaningless. But yeah, I mean, and then as luck would have it, I had some old KGU brass, heavy. I have the top caps too, and the bottom caps, and they fit. Ironic, because they don't make one for this, but I thought it was cool to put these big fat caps on the bottom since it's already half like brass lacquer or whatever this is anyway. But I mean, this is a really cool, everything on it works. The slides work, the valves are really smooth, it plays really nice. Now it has a tiny bell for a flugelhorn, but again, I think this is more like a marching band flugelhorn or something like that. It's not a traditional, but I really liked I have another flugel that's got the trumpet center section, and that's a really neat horn too, and I had Jay Landris do some work on it, but it really, the intonation on it is just atrocious. It's almost impossible to play it on something. Like, I can play the thing, it's fine by itself, but to play it with something else and other instruments that are in tune, it's really difficult to keep it in tune. But anyway, I really liked this one. $200, and again, another try it out and see where it goes. I think it was very successful, and again, just, you know, give stuff a try. You don't know. I really enjoy. I kind of go to this a lot. It really reminds me a lot of the Thomann that I play a lot too. But you know, that said, I still have a Brasspire 933 flugel that's being custom made because I wanted the companion. I mean, I'm so ridiculous at this point, right? Like, I have a Schilke set. Now I'll have a Brasspire set. Now I'm looking at some other stuff that's on that Gammon site in Poland. Man, they get some really cool horns out there too. But I guess I'm as much an aficionado and a collector of horns as I am a player of them. But nevertheless, you know, I keep putting stuff out. So some of the newer material that you'll hear coming out, if you follow any of my actual recordings and artist releases, you know, we'll have these horns on them. So I'm pretty excited to put that stuff out, you know, in 2024 as we come, because the year's almost over. But, you know, with that, this is a cool horn. So if you're looking at Berkeley Wind stuff, I found this to be a great horn, really affordable, plays really well, feels really nice. I'm not a big fan of this particular piece right here, the pinky ring, but I have a new one. I got a lot of parts just laying around too from getting stuff over the years, and so I'm just going to bring it over to Brass Monkey at some point and have them swap that out for the it's more of a Schilke style finger ring, and I like that better. This is kind of flimsy and you can bend it and move it, so I don't really, that's the only cheap thing that I found on this. Everything else works really well. So anyway, if you're looking at Berkeley Wind stuff, go check it out. Oh, and by the way, there is a new unicorn horn, just like the silver one I have, up on eBay right now for a good price. So if anybody's looking for a unicorn, there's one up there now. All right, see you.